Hi. The person in my life that had the largest impact on me, um, I'll tell you a story. There was a tall, handsome man who was blonde-headed and blue-eyed who married his high school sweetheart. They had 3 children, um, but his high school sweetheart turned out to be something of a mess. She was demanding and abusive and angry all the time. She slept around on him and had numerous affairs. Um, After the tall, handsome man had his open heart surgery, the man's wife beat him with a belt because she was angry at him for one reason or another. Um, the tall, handsome man and his wife eventually divorced, and he remarried. His ex-wife kept his children from him for most of their adolescent life. She didn't allow them to have contact with him. Once those children were grown and they had their own choice, then they pursued a relationship with the tall, handsome father, who was humorous and trustworthy and honest and loved unconditionally, was the very definition of unconditional love. His 3 children grew up and went out into the world and married and had children of their own and did crazy, dumb things. Weren't very good parents most of the time themselves. One of the daughters was a drug addict. His son was a philanderer, never could be true to his wife, had children but never helped to take care of them. And then the youngest daughter was just kind of loony, didn't have her life together, made horrible mistakes with her children that she had, was in and out of relationships and marriages, but the father was always there, loving, and when the children had issues with the mother and their relationship with the mother, the father always had good things to say about the mother and encouragement and, well, you have to love her. She's your only mother. Don't have regrets if something happened to her, and don't let there be bitterness that comes in between your relationship with her. And yes, she did these things to me, but she's still your mother, and you still have to love her. She's the only mom you'll ever have. The tall, handsome man in 2005 was diagnosed with cancer. In the last 9 months of his life, he spent preparing his children to be okay, and his wife, his current wife, because he remarried, to be okay, and their adopted son. Him and his wife had adopted a child together. His concern wasn't about his pain or the side effects of the chemo or anything like that. His concern was preparing his family, such as it was, to be without him and to be okay, including his ex-wife. Again, he made a big point of talking to his children about unconditional love towards their mother and healing, and confessed to the youngest daughter his undying love for his ex-wife, that she was his childhood sweetheart, his high school sweetheart. He loved her still, and he always would. Not that he didn't love his wife that he had married, but he did and always would love his first wife. His first wife also confessed the same things, and as they both came to terms with the things that had happened in their relationship to make it the way that it was, there was a reconciliation, and with the children and with the mother and the father. After the father died 8 years ago yesterday, on August 30th, 2006, the children kind of splintered, and The glue that held everyone together was gone. Um, but the rock-hard foundation that man gave his children of the Word of God, even though he had a seventh grade education and could barely read, unconditional love. He didn't just speak it, he lived it. He lived it with his family, he lived it with his friends, he lived it in his business. That's why his business, once he quit his job and began building homes on his own, flourished, because people knew that to say the name Jerry Stewart meant loyalty and honesty and integrity. He didn't lie, he didn't cheat. As a matter of fact, he'd tell you the truth, even if it wasn't, even if it was painful. Um, he was the first one to walk around in the bath wrap that has the Velcro that you use to get out of, that they got for Christmas one year with the cape like Batman. He was the first one to ride the bicycles that my twin nieces, the twins, got for Christmas with his long legs. And this was my father. My father taught me what the true embodiment of unconditional godly love means. He taught me how to love. He taught me how to forgive. He taught me what a good man is. And in teaching that, even though it took me a long time to learn those lessons, he taught me how to find a good mate and how to repair things and damages that I'd done in my life with love and forgiveness for my children and with my mother. And don't think bad of my mother. We all have made our mistakes, and we've all made our peace with it. But to see someone, after being treated so horribly, like Jesus, maybe not to the extent, go to their grave still loving that person and still loving others and not being bitter, was the biggest lesson I've ever learned my whole life. So that was my dad, James Dean, good-looking, blonde-headed and blue-eyed, funny man, and the rock of my life. God bless everyone.